welcome back to StarrSoap's channel. How are you today? Are you going loopy? I hope not. Okay, so I'm here to do an intro for a video, clearly, like I normally would do. But I'm a little bit all over the place because of everything, as you can imagine. And you'll probably be able to hear the two little stars screaming and yelling in the backyard, burning off some steam, jumping on the trampoline and things. That's cool. Today we're going to be making soap experiments. That's right, you know how much I love to do soap experiments. We're going to be playing around with different things that are scrubby that you can put in the soap. But I don't mean exfoliants, I don't mean coffee and things like that. I'm talking like different scrubbers that you can put in your soap. So this is an example of one of the things that we're going to make today. Okay, we have a combination of cold processed soap and melt and pour here. We've got melt and pour and cold processed soap, and this is a hint. Can you see that? But that's the only hint you're going to get. So if you want to know what the heck is going on in today's StarrSoaps video, you'll have to stay tuned and watch me and find out. I'm going to be scenting today's soap in a blend of different fruity fragrances and hoping that they stick and still smell nice and lemony, with kumquat fragrance being right there at the top. And I love the way it smells, so I really hope it sticks. Hang on a sec, let's find out. Oh, it's so good. It's kind of like candy, and it's lemony, and it's sweet. It's really good. Me likey. So if you'd like to see and learn more about the soapy experiment, then come along with me and I'll show you how we make it. Squee! We're not losing it around here. Not at all. Okay, so first things first, we're going to add our cooled lye water to our cooled oils. And I've got lovely goat's milk in my oils. That's why they already look kind of creamy. And I'm just going to gently stick blend my lye and my oils and goat's milk together until I bring it all to a light trace or emulsification. I don't want to make it too thick because I really hope that it will absorb into those sponges. So I'm very excited to see how that works out. I'm using a blend of different fragrance and essential oils here. I've got Butt Naked fragrance, Misbehavin' fragrance, Kumquat fragrance. I've got lemongrass essential oil, orange ×5 essential oil, and I've got a little bit of Mei Chang, which is also very lemongrassy. I've got some gold mica and gold glitter mixed into that jug, and I've got this really pretty pinky sort of blue one over here. So it's not purple, it's very much pink, but when you see like the way it shimmers, especially in the melt and pour, there's definitely like a shade of blue. It's almost like two-toned. It's pink and blue. It's really, really, really pretty. So I was interested to see how it would look in the cold processed soap, because often I find these colours can become muted in the cold processed soap. So as you can see here, when it's in the liquid form, it looks really beautiful and shimmery and golden, and it's really gorgeous, but the chances of it actually staying that bold are very slender. I know this. I know that they tend to turn a little bit more pastel, especially in the final cured soap. But at the moment, I'm very happy at how that looks, especially for cold processed soap. It looks magical. So I've got a really fruity and zesty scent going on here, and I love it. And I think that the kumquat fragrance has overpowered most of the other ones, and it's definitely the fragrance you can smell at the end of the cure. It's really, really beautiful and fruity though, but I think in the future I might just use the kumquat fragrance only, and we'll see what happens. I was hoping that I could sort of anchor the scent by using all these different scents, because I know that lemon on its own quite often just fades, and I didn't want that. I wanted it to stick around. So I've given everything a bit of a stick blend to bring it to a light trace and help everything mix. And I have this leftover sponge here because I trimmed my sponges to fit my mold. So I'm having a play with trying to poke it and float it and stick it in the soap here, which is a bit silly. It had a little bit of gold melt and pour already in the end, and I think that was my ultimate learning here, was that these sponges, they absorb the melt and pour very well, but they don't seem to absorb the cold process soap as well. The cold process soap seems to kind of sit on the outside and it doesn't soak right into the center of the sponge, whereas the melt and pour totally soaks all the way in. So that's interesting. I had seen these sponges that were soaked in soap that were for sale, and it inspired me and I wanted to try it myself. So that's what gave me the idea to do this. Here we have all the different scrubbies and things I want to play with. We've got some sponges, like I just talked about, some loofah, which I'm sure most of you are familiar with. And then up in the top there, we've got some little silk pods. So I actually bought whole silk pods. I don't know what I thought I was going to do with them, but here we go. I'm trying them in something here. And I've used a bit of melt and pour to fill the center of each one so that it wouldn't be hollow inside the soap, that it would actually have soap inside the little silk pod. So I was rather unsure as to what to do, and I realised in hindsight, 2020 hindsight, that I should have attempted to pour the sponge ones first instead of leaving them last, which is what I ended up doing. While the soap is quite thin, like it is right now, I feel like more of it would have absorbed into the sponge, but that's alright, live and learn. To be fair, I think in my final soaps, these loofahs are my favourite, and I don't even think I'll bother with the sponges again. But it was a fun experiment to do. So I'm just going to go through and press those loofahs down and make sure they're well inside each soap. I love how the two colours are separate in there. It's worked out really well. And I have quite a bit of soap left because I wasn't too sure how much I was going to need. So even after pouring all the sponges, I still had enough left to make a whole loaf of soap, which I did, and topped with some yellow Ko-Fi seeds on the gold side and a little pink soap diamond on the pink side. So I'm excited to show you that one. Finessing a little bit here, trying to make sure the soap really did get down into all the crevices as much as possible. And now I'm going to come through and give them a little bit of a swirl on the top. Not that they needed it because they already look really pretty, but I just like the idea of the swirl going along where the two colours meet. So as you can see, the loofah and the little scrubby things underneath are making that a little bit difficult. I keep catching my skewer on them, but it's all part of the fun. I did want to mention I did not soak my loofahs in water before putting them in the mould. Some people do soak theirs in water. I didn't. And same with my sponges, they were dry as well. So if you guys have any opinions on that or any advice, I'll be happy to hear it. So it's been overnight and we're back the next day, and here is that loaf of extra soap I talked about. And it turned out so pretty. I'm really excited to cut it and show you guys the inside. Wow, for bonus extra soap, that turned out really cool. I love those swirls, and one of them in particular really reminds me of a butterfly. I love these two colours. I think it's turned out really well. The gold is obviously a bit muted, but it's still really pretty. So here we are, another whole 24 hours later, and it's time to unmold our main event soaps. I straight away go for one with a sponge because I'm intrigued, and I am immediately disappointed at how light it feels. I can tell the soap has not soaked all the way into that sponge. But the good news is that there is sponge exposed on not one but two sides of the soap here. So I can make up some melt and pour and attempt to fill the sponge up even more with some more soap. So that's what I will do. In the meantime, I'll go ahead and unmold all of these soaps. The loofah soaps came out beautifully. I really love them, and like I mentioned before, probably will stick to loofah as my main scrubby embed from here on out. They're not too expensive and they work so well. This is a little melt and pour embed that I popped on top at the last minute, and I made it by trying to make a melt and pour soap crystal using the same two colours that we used in the cold processed soap, the gold mica with some gold glitter, and that very amazing pink mica that has almost like a two-tone effect with the blue that comes through. I really love that mica. This is one of the ones with the little silk pods in it, and I love how it looks, how sparkly that gold mica looks. That's the gold glitter mixed with the gold mica into the melt and pour that I used to make sure that each silk pod would be filled up with soap. And I think those would make very interesting soaps as you use them when the little silk pod comes out. I don't know, I'm not even sure if I'm going to sell them, to be honest. They might get given away as gifts. I had a lot of fun playing with it, and it was a good excuse to get out there and create again. I love the scent, which was a big part of the reason for this experiment as well, because I wanted to see if I could get a nice fruity citrusy scent that would stick and last. So I'm happy with that. I think it smells great and I love how it looks. I love the swirls and I love the funny little embeds, but most of all it's those loofahs. They're the winner. of the soaps are unmolded, and most of them are sitting in the curing rack and drying for the next 4 to 6 weeks. I'm going to go ahead and try to fill these ones a little bit more with some melt and pour. And I can see that a pipette might have been a better way of doing this, because I could have controlled the flow a little better. I'm also holding the camera and trying to film it as I pour at the same time, and trying to multitask here to show you guys. You can see that it does absorb in, but it absorbs slowly. So had I poured the sponge, or just dipped the sponge straight into melt and pour and not coated it in the cold process, I think it would have been a bit easier. In the end, I did manage to get quite a lot of soap into them until they all weighed close to 200 grams each. So I feel like it's a good soap, and I love how the glitter sits on top of the sponge and sparkles away like that. So all in all, this is a pretty fun soap experiment, and I totally recommend loofah, guys. If you want to embed something scrubby in your soap, I recommend using a loofah. I really do hope that you guys enjoyed watching this funny, crazy soap video. I enjoyed making it for you. And if you did, and you're not already, feel free to hit that subscribe button, become a member of our StarrSoaps family, and feel the soapy love. And I'll see you guys next time.